So first of all, the last few days I've been listening to David Goggins and his audiobook, Can't Hurt Me. It's incredible. Basically, he's making me think, how far can I push myself? Second of all, my friend Josh came in here today and basically just like hypes me up. He's like, hey, you could have been a D1 athlete, or like you could be this like really, you should be this athletic guy. And I've never thought that I was one who wanted to basically stream my workouts, talk about my workouts. But 600 burpees is just like a thing that I think is a thing that most people can't grasp. And there was a conversation that I had with a friend of mine where I was listening to David Goggins' book and pretty much said, I think I could do burpees for a full 24 hours. And I will give him the benefit of the doubt. And I said, without training, which is a horrible idea. But his response was like, no, you can't do that. You would die. Like, you'd basically die. And I just put together what I was hearing in the book and what I believe I can do. And in the want and the desire to be surrounded by friends and family and a community who basically says, go try it. Like, go try to do that. You know what? If you fail, cool. But you're going to fail at like 1,000 burpees or 20,000 burpees. I don't know the world record, but I know I follow a guy on Instagram who's trying to break it. I digress. Point being is I want to be surrounded by those people. And so today, what I'm going to do is 600 burpees, because if you do the math, for me, it's 50 burpees for every 10 minutes. And I think that is something I can do. Traditionally, I'll do 10 burpees for every minute, go for 30 minutes, and just kind of exhaust myself. But I'm just going to double it. The most I've ever done is 300, 320, whatever, somewhere around there. And, there's a 40% rule. So if that's what I thought was 100, then I'm just going to double it. I'm going to get started. Hope you enjoy this, but hope this just gives you some motivation, I guess. And whoever's watching this, whenever you watch it, tell me you tried it. Tell me you wanted to see more, because if you liked it, then maybe I'll try to do it again and inspire you again. Setting the timer, turning on David Goggins. Audible hopes you enjoyed this audiobook. Not sponsored. $6:43. 50. Hundred. 150.
200. Woo, David Goggins. All right, so we'll listen to David Goggins, like I was saying, and he's talking about being uncommon amongst the uncommon. And really the only uncommon person is you. So you may find common patterns in your day-to-day life. And to get better, at least this is what I've been trying to do, is trying to identify where I am common. Like I sleep until 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. It's like, that's common. Okay, try to get up at 6 a.m. You know you have at least one friend who's getting up at 5 a.m. So try to do that. That's uncommon for me and my past. So today I'm trying to be uncommon. And sometimes you'll have ideas, like I had this idea in the shower to do 600 burpees and try to just test myself. And that's uncommon. Like recognize
where you're thinking differently. And I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to you if you're listening. But the point here is, if you find yourself doing something that you don't normally do, try to go all into it, see what you can get out of it, and you'll think of yourself as uncommon. I don't know. I'm gonna try to give you more thoughts while I'm doing this. I'm at 221 minutes in. I'm gonna keep going. Pace is doing 100 every 10 minutes. I know I said 50 every 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to do 100 every 10 minutes. David Goggins, stay hard. 8 minutes. $250. Hey. There's endless power, endless strength. There's no finish line. All right. One thing that David Goggins is saying right now is that when he was going through Delta training, the Army training, these other military schools, he was basically was reading books. He was studying maps. He was studying history. And basically people didn't like him. They didn't like his personality. And in the book, they're talking about how it's amazing how this organization, the military, which is the most really, really sophisticated organization filled with just people who have raw talent and smart and have motivation and drive, how this organization can kind of screw up because they let the personality of David get in the way of, joining some of these groups, the Delta group and military, rankings and whatnot. And so I don't know when I would ever really just have a moment of clarity, but for me in my life, the people who really stand out, who I think had personality differences and that I didn't enjoy, I did the same thing. I cast them out. I basically called them out and didn't let them join in my heart. And it's really three men. I'm in a beautiful state right now, so I just want to acknowledge it, and I know this is live, but you guys were all friends of mine. I was in your group, and at some point, I basically watched you and thought to myself, you're uncommon. You're different than me and maybe some other people. And I didn't let you in. I didn't be radically curious. I didn't open up my heart enough. I didn't use empathy. And I was closed-minded. I did not open my mind to the possibility that having somebody different around me and someone who's uncommon would make me better, and I in turn could help you. So I didn't intend for this live video to be apology sessions with Jack, but to be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to give up this whole concept where I work out and think deeply, think differently, and kind of drop the ego a little bit. So if you guys ever see this, just tell me. If anybody who is my friend sees this, you can skip past it. Yeah, it's a time where I think I should just say it. And even if it's just to the live video on YouTube, maybe one day I can cut it up and send it to you directly. But I have some trauma that I'm working through, and I'm sorry for what I did. I'm at 300 burpees, 300 more. 35 minutes. I think I can do it. Hope that computer doesn't die. Oh, too much water. $350. Six pull-ups for every minute for 24 hours is how David Goggins broke the world record. He did the math. I'm doing the math. 250 more. 250 more. And 4, 3, 2, 1. $400. 400. 450. Woo! 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 One thing complacency does is kill you. It kills you. Jesus. 500. Woo! Last 100. Let's go. 550. $550 1 hour. It's pretty solid. Woo! 30 more. Ten more. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Yeah, Mitch. All right. Okay. All right, this is called an AAR, After Action Report. First of all, I'm on like chapter 9, but David
I was on my
Goggins
game
can't hurt
and
me
confident
though.
as hell. I wasn't thinking of just 4,020 pull-ups.
Right there.
I wanted to go the full 24 hours. If I did that, 5,000 was possible. Or even 6,000. I remained hyper-vigilant, scanning for any physical issues.
Let's see, chapter 10, can't hurt me. Basically, after everything he does in the military and the world records that he was attempting to break, I guess you'll have to find out if he broke it, to recognize that me personally, I get energy when I have a little bit of a moment in between the moments. So the moments are these burpees. And when I allow myself maybe a buffer of 5 minutes in between every 100 burpees, it gives me freedom and like an open space just to vent, to release my thoughts. And if you go to the middle of this video, you'll see that, I did that. I released some thoughts. I'm connecting the dots between what David Goggins' audiobook and my life. And I aspire to be like him. He's a hero in a way. And I look at my life and I say, I should have done that better. I could have done this better. And that's a real AAR. Physically, the AAR, I think 600 burpees in like normal standards is a lot. Like that's a ton of burpees. That was an hour and 10 minutes of burpees. And I'm between physically doing it and fighting through the resistance to start the physical challenge. And if you don't know anything about me, I'm a creative kind of guy. I like to make videos. I like to really create experiences for my friends and my family. And I think a lot of times that gets me into deep waters with people and they don't always love it, but the creative tend to have resistance and they procrastinate. And one of the things that I want to do is kind of master that. I'm going to master the morning routines and master the resistance. And I have triggers that give me the strength to basically just power through those resistant factors. And if I'm going to continue on my AAR, the ways that I push through resistance is first by talking to somebody. One of my best friends, Josh Munyon, came over here today, and he was basically saying, hey, let's do 50 pull-ups, and let's do 1,500 pull-ups by the end of the month. And like that conversation is just like great. It is it's a positive energy, and I like communicating with people who open up and share with me themselves in their most vulnerable states. Before he was talking about that, he was talking about some personal stuff with friends and family and people in his life. And it's beautiful. I love it. And it was a contributor to getting me through resistance. The other thing that I did today that was pushing me through resistance was throw on this audiobook. Oftentimes, if I just put on an audiobook and I kind of block out any social media, I can get into the work that I want to be doing. Another factor is over the last 4 or 5 days, I have had 0 notifications on my phone. So that means text, apps, social media, emails, nothing. Nothing is notifying me on my phone. It's so easy for me to just like put it into my drawer and not even use it. So that's a delayed sort of contributor. Like it's over the period of a few days, it's given me like a different mind to work with, and I really like it right now. We're in the middle of a novel coronavirus, and it's very helpful for me. And then the last, I would say, trigger to getting through resistance, the last contributor to fighting through resistance is just doing some work earlier. I woke up this morning and I do really well if I can get to my breathing. I can go do Wim Hof breathing method. If I can wake up and do that, I am on a great start to the day. And then immediately I drove downtown to a studio collaborative space where I was helping a company create masks. And I'll link that in the bottom of this video, but the company is called SoKC. And for the last, let's say, 60 days, they've been making masks for the people who are fighting the coronavirus and just the general population. They are CDC regulated or CDC approved. The mayor gave them a special permission to keep their doors open and work on these masks. And for every mask that you buy, they will donate to somebody who is really, really close to the coronavirus and fighting it, like the hospitals, the nurses, the doctors, the first responders, and public workers, stuff like that. And so this is not in any way, I am in no way affiliated to whatever money they make, but I do help them produce some of the masks. So maybe I am, I don't know. Does that mean I am? If I get paid to make the masks, and I guess if I keep them getting sales, I keep a job. Maybe I am. I don't know the rules on that. I hope that doesn't come out. And I came home to basically watching a few videos on courses on how to make a product that would do better with a funnel and an ad on YouTube. So this might just be too much information. I don't know. Maybe you just came here to see some burpees, but if you're at the end of this video and you're still watching, I guess I'm just giving you a little bit about who I am and what's going on in my life, because I guess the thing I hope will come from all this is really internal. It's not a significance thing. It's not for my ego. It's for me. It's for me to basically challenge myself and be more uncommon from the common person I was yesterday. It's that 1% better every day. And so if just doing a live video on YouTube and then dropping some thoughts is the way that happens, then yeah, I'm gonna do more of this. So cheers. I tried to get my camera working on this, but it just wasn't working. So I did it with my computer, but expect some of these videos to be a little better quality in the future. And have a great day. 600 burpees, baby. You.